The word of the day is frustrated. Yes, I should be happy, but instead I'm frustrated. Here on the video report, I've won 12 straight college basketball complimentary plays dating back to last Thursday. In fact, 3-0 yesterday with Colorado State, Oregon, and Connecticut. 3-0 sweep on Thursday with St. John's, Gonzaga, and BYU. Perfect 8-0 with the complimentary plays here on the video report, the plays I'm giving away in the big dance. In fact, the complimentary plays in all sports combined, I've now won 32 of my last 40. 32 of my last 40 with the plays that I jokingly always refer to as being the best of the worst. And my bracket, oh my God, listen, 3-1 in the first four, 27-5 in the first round. And I've always believed that if you're going to have any success in a bracket, no matter what type you're playing, you've got to come through the first round with at least 22 to 24 winners. And I had 27. And more importantly, when you extrapolate out those teams, I've got all 8 of my elite 18 choices still in action. I've got 15 of my 16 Sweet 16 teams still in action. Oh, let me think. What's the one exception? The one team that I was misfiring on? Oh, yeah. That was North Carolina. The Tar Heels, who happened to be my 29 best bet yesterday over at DeMarcoSports.com. And that's why today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the word of the day is frustrated. Because winning all these free picks, I'm glad you're happy, but it ain't making me happy. It's not making customers happy either. I can tell you that right now. So anyway, guys, Hal DeMarco here, General Manager, DeMarcoSports.com. And the reality is the sun still rose in the east today, and it will still set in the west. And that means there's more action and more complimentary plays coming for you on the Saturday card. Let me also point out and just clarify one thing that I mentioned yesterday, that this will definitely be my last March Madness. I haven't wholly decided whether or not I'll be here for football season next year. And I was the number one football handicapper here at the site this past season. I will definitely be here for baseball because it is the easiest sport to make money in. I've told you that for years, and I've delivered. I have been the number one baseball handicapper since I created these sites 23 years ago. I've always made easy money in baseball. And listen, I enjoy baseball handicapping. If baseball was a 12-month-a-year sport, I don't think I'd ever retire. I'd do this for another 5 or 6 years rather than just, but believe me or not, the reason I'm doing the quitting now is, I know my lifespan is short, and I'd rather not spend doing it handicapping games. I don't need the money. So anyway, with that being said, let me just quickly remind you, you see at the bottom of the page, the 2-day free trial. It's the all access pass. If you've never taken advantage of it, over at DeMarcoSports.com, you can do so. And that means that all today's plays on the all access pass costs $109. And that's where you get all the plays of all the handicappers for free today, or you pay $109. But with the 2-day all access pass, you can get today and tomorrow, today and whatever other day you want. You pick the 2 days. If you've never been a customer at DeMarcoSports.com, you might want to take advantage of it. I've been doing it for 21 of the 23 years since I created these sites. Yeah. And it's a great success because it gives everybody an opportunity to come on in and check out the plays without paying for them. Can't be free. Okay, with that being said, let's get to your complimentary plays. I only have 2 of them today. This is not a great card. Obviously, there's fewer games, but there were a lot of tough games here on the card. So let me run these again in reverse chronological order. Tonight in Denver, in the East region, which I don't know to you, but last time I checked the map, Denver was over there and the East is over there. Beyond me how they call it the East Regional. But you got BYU, a team that I used in the first round against VCU as complimentary play. And I like BYU plus the 1.5 against Wisconsin. This is a team that's on a 10-1 roll, straight up 9-2 against the spread. They took care of business against a very tough defensive-minded team in VCU. Now, Wisconsin's going to play a different game, and Wisconsin certainly has a much better offensive team. And, the Badgers didn't really have any really didn't have to break a sweat in their first round game against Montana. Let's be honest here. So, yeah, when you go back and you look at that game, it was a 4-point game with about 14, 15 minutes to play. And then Wisconsin went on a roll. So, in a way, the 85-66 final was somewhat deceiving. Now, you've got Wisconsin with the two big men, 7-footer Stephen Crow and 6'11" Nolan Winter, but BYU has size too. Now, I will give Wisconsin's three-guard lineup an edge here versus BYU starters, but I will say that BYU has much better bench strength. In fact, they're number 13 in the nation and coming into the tournament, producing an average of 31 points a game from the reserves, and they got 26 against the Rams. I think this is going to be a high scoring game. I would not be surprised to see both of these teams reach the 90-point mark, if not in the high 80s, but I still like BYU. As I mentioned about taking BYU against VCU initially, now in that particular game, VCU had the travel in situation, but bottom line is this game is being played in Denver. BYU is a team that is used to playing in elevation. This game at Denver, it's at the Nuggets home arena. It's 5,280 feet above sea level. That's exactly 1 mile. Now, a lot of folks have been saying, oh, Wisconsin arrived on Wednesday. They're acclimated to the elevation. Yeah, really? That's not how it goes. So I still like BYU, and BYU is getting a point and a half. I think that this is going to be a 2-3 point game, and I'm willing to go with the Cougars in this spot. Now, your early card play, I am going to go with St. John's. I was surprised that this line dropped from 7.5 down to 6.5, but I'm certainly okay with it. Listen, you've got a couple of the givens, which is that this game is in Providence, so it might as well be a de facto home game for St. John's because A, it's closer to New York, and B, Rick Pitino's still a beloved figure in Providence because of what he did with the Friars in his first year when he coached them many, many years ago. What was it, 1987, when he took them to the Final Four? A lot of folks will say, well, Arkansas has size, that they are bigger. And yeah, if we're going to take the tape measures out, Arkansas is bigger along the front line than St. John's. Doesn't necessarily mean they're a good rebounding team. St. John's, number 3 in the nation in rebounding. I think Arkansas is like down in the 180s. Now, I will say that Arkansas did get their starting freshman guard back from thumb surgery. He'd been out since the middle of January, came off the bench for 24 minutes against Kansas. And there's a chance they may get their leading scorer, who has missed the last 7 games, averages about 15, 16 points a game, almost 8 rebounds, back as well. In a limited capacity, he's been out all this time with a hyperextended knee. But I still like St. John's because this team has taken no prisoners almost all season long. I was very encouraged that the team that can't shoot straight from three-point land sank 14 three-pointers against Omaha. Now, admittedly, they snoozed through the first half of that game. I mean, it was just ugly, ugly, ugly. A team that was an 18.5-point favorite, if you didn't watch that game, you said, oh my God, they blew out the Omaha Mavericks. And again, I gave you St. John's as a complimentary play. But that was a 5-point lead for St. John's at intermission. In the second half, they doubled the margin 50-25 against Omaha. And they put the clamps on Omaha defensively. 6.5, I like this line. Obviously more than 7.5. Gee, we don't have to be MIT majors to figure that out. And I like St. John's. And of these two plays, I'm actually going to go with St. John's as my number 1 selection today. So my top play would be St. John's. Number 2 is going to be BYU. And as I noted, I'm kind of hot with the complimentary plays. So guys, somebody wrote in yesterday, by the way, whether I be here this weekend. Yeah, I'm going to be here today and tomorrow. God, I haven't done this many videos in a row, and I can't tell you how long. And I will be here next weekend as well, and all 4 days of the dance, and for all your big basketball days for the rest of the tournament as well. So good luck, everybody, and I'll talk to you again soon.